Hi, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the 100, season 7, episode 4, of course, which was Hesperides. And I kind of want to start by just talking about the Greek myth of Hesperides, which is a group of three nymphs. They have a couple different names, but like nymphs of the night or the forest, basically. Um, they are guarding Hera's garden, and specifically they're guarding a golden apple tree, which was given to Zeus and Hera on the occasion of their wedding by Gaia, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure exactly how that ties into the character Gaia, but I'll figure it out eventually. And it's also this garden is also guarded by a dragon who has 100 heads, because Hera decided that the three nymphs weren't doing a good enough job after Hercules um, got Atlas to go steal the golden apples. He stole 3 golden apples. So that's kind of the story. I think they didn't do like a particularly great job of telling the entire story. So I just
Hmm.
wanted to talk about that. Yes. Also, Hesperos, which is the root of Hesperides, means evening, and the evening star is Venus. So, just throwing that stuff out there to start
Yeah.
off the episode. Um, yeah, I think it was pretty cool that Octavia got to tell Hope the kind of Greek mythology stuff that Bellamy would tell her as a kid. Although I kind of wish they had done a little bit more there, but maybe we'll have another flashback later on. That
Yeah.
kind of does another story. As we know, the 100 is prone to do. They love to mix in that kind of Greek and Roman mythology quite often.
The moment where Hope corrected, I think it was Echo on how to say Hercules, was really good. I love that because like it really did, like you said, remind you of Octavia and Bellamy, and it's great because Echo obviously spent a bunch of time with Bellamy, but she never really got to see that side, that aspect of him.
Yeah. I mean, I did think it was funny because, like, I think what she corrected her was not really correct. I mean, the point of the trouble with myths is that, like, the names have because it went from like Greek to Roman and it's like similar myths, and then like as it's become English, all the names are so all over the place that's like kind of hard to keep track. But
Yeah.
like, it's Heracles.
As
Not
far
one of
as
the
we know. Yeah, I mean it's hard to correct anybody at this point because it's all wrong. It's all so wrong. But I love that you brought that you looked that up and you brought that little bit of knowledge to our analysis of the episode. In general, I thought it was a fantastic episode. I thought it was really cool with all the little action, all the this invisible combat and planning and plotting, and I was very excited to see they actually had them stay on the planet for 5 years because I called that. I was like, I don't think a lot of shows would do that, but I think they're gonna do it here. Get this psycho person to be their friend, and that's exactly what they ended up doing. You wanted to talk about the psycho person quite a bit. Orlando is a very important name in literature, right?
Well, we could, yeah. I mean, I guess I can go into that now.
I'd
You
love
don't want to
to.
talk about like stuff that happened in between?
Oh,
All
we
right. Well,
anything you want to, you go for it if you want to talk about anything else. But I thought that
I'll go.
he's really interesting, the character.
Yeah. So, Orlando as a character, son of Roland, who has had an epic tale written about him. Honestly, Roland's like not that interesting. I read Song of Roland in school, and you know, it's a story about a fight. It's kind of boring, to be honest. But anyway, Orlando is much different. So Orlando appears, he's got 2 epics, one unfinished, one that's like a continuation of the first one as if it had been finished, written about him. And he also appears in Shakespeare's As You Like It as a character. This kind of trope of who Orlando is. Basically, he's a very devoted and passionate person, and he tends to fall in love very easily, and passionately. Well, specifically, like in each tale, he finds like one person to fall in love with and like be super devoted to, and um, that that person does not feel the same, so they kind of go off with somebody else, and he ends up being very sad, which is, kind of exactly what happens in the 100, right?
That's
With
perfect. Yeah, I love that. I mean, I don't know if Hope is so heartless. I feel like maybe she actually grew to like him, and then maybe they were kind of like boyfriend girlfriend type of thing for a
I think
while. But I,
I don't think they got there in the 100, but just I think they kind of taking away the lovers aspect and more just focusing on friendship, as they said.
mhm.
Um, they were kind of talking about the difference between like friends and people, like my people.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, they were very, very close friends, and there's definitely some like friendship love going on in that whole circle. Like you could totally tell the way that Hope saved Echo when they were being attacked, or doing the attacking or whatever.
Mhm.
They had that whole like forehead touch thing, which is kind of strange. Have they done that before in the 100? Mm-mm.
I
It's a
think
little strange.
they just kind of got close to each other, and that may have been something that Echo did with her people, or Hope did with Octavia and Diosa, but I can't remember where it came from. What I loved was that Orlando is a better fighter than than Echo. That's amazing that he could beat her
Well,
in a fist to
so
fist fight.
one more thing I want to add about the Orlando kind of stories is that in As You Like It by Shakespeare, he has a fight with his brother, Oliver, and Oliver's intent is to kill him. And, well, Orlando wins the fight, but he realizes what's going on. And so he decides to take refuge in a forest, the forest of Arden. And Arden means highland. So it's kind of funny that he like literally took refuge in that forest for a while, and he was like having all of his little picnic buddies, so to speak, um, alone on a planet in the sky. Like I thought that was kind of interesting, the
hmm
further connection there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That
yeah.
character was so good. The way like he started off just like out of his mind, and then like he was brought in back to reality through the story of Hope with the previous person. Like it came out pretty early on that they were trying to deceive him, and that they'd kind of done something similar with followers beforehand. But he forgave them, and he ended up wanting to get to know them and their life. If he's actually dead, if he killed himself off screen, I am going to be very, very mad about that, because I feel like if you do that off screen like that, after just building up this amazing character, you're kind of signaling that he's not dead. I can't believe that he's actually just killed himself off screen like that. He's a 12th level person. He's
Level
potentially
12 disciple.
a plant from the beginning. I don't know. I think we can trust him. He seems like, yeah, based on what you were just saying there, the name and the significance of that, I think he was being genuine, and now he may actually be more of a threat to them later on. I don't know. Do you think that was just the end of Orlando? Or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think he's pretty much gone. I could see that. I mean, they're definitely talking a lot about mental health in this episode with Raven and Orlando. The fact that they basically, Echo and Gabriel and Hope brought him back from like the brink of insanity, essentially, um, to be like, a totally functioning person, and then completely betray him, kill all of his other fellow disciples right in front of him, and
Yeah.
then be like, oops, sorry, bye. That could definitely destroy a person's um, state of mind. Also, at that point, he would not know when he could get off of that place. So I could
Yeah.
see that being sort of a, you know, a reason for him to just uh give up hope.
Yeah, I mean, like an hour in their world may have been like at least a year over there. So he's like, I'm over it. But I can't believe he was sent there, according to him, simply for working on a rest day. A level 12 person
Well, we don't know
sentenced
what
to
kind of
four
work
years.
we don't know what kind of work he was doing.
That's just very important. It could have been. I
Like,
think that's going to come into play later. If we don't get to see Orlando, we get to see people who know Orlando. We get to see his brother Oliver.
yeah, exactly.
I love that he trained them to be disciples, and then just like all these disciples are getting wrecked around us. Like these disciples are apparently really good at combat, but Raven just killed 8 of them, and I think before that the guy had said that he counted 9 dead, which is just like, wow, our guys are really good at killing apparently. Well, at least with weapons. If you give them the right weapons and the situation. Maybe the only reason they're getting away with it is because they have no moral compass at this point. Like they are willing to do the cheap things, the things that most people wouldn't be willing to do. Like, kill the
Like,
unconscious prisoners. That's pretty evil. Like our good guys are coming across very evil at this point in the show.
yeah, I mean, right now I'm struggling to find like the direction, but beyond save Bellamy, save Octavia. Like, you know what I mean? Where is the show going with this? Because right now it just seems like let's kill everybody, and here's like a random side plot about
Hmm.
Raven killing people. And
Yeah.
oh, in this episode she's gonna kill more people, even though it was really negatively affecting her like 5 minutes ago. But she's gonna use this cool thought control and just like kill a bunch of people, and it's totally fine. Like, no big deal.
It's interesting to me because every season leading up to this has been them finding a way to bring their enemy in and work with them and make one crew type of stuff. And this is, they're not our people. They're not willing to work with us. And I just think it's because they haven't worked with them long enough. They don't know them yet. Eventually they may end up coming together for this war that ends all wars, or they may end up going on different sides of the war that ends all wars. I think this ice planet they ended up on is actually going to be potentially a headquarters to a resistance to the disciples. I think the disciples are going to be followers of the second flame, or maybe they don't say his name for a different reason. Then they believe him as like Messiah or whatever. They may just think of him as kind of like Voldemort. You don't speak his name, but like they use the rituals and the words from before.
Mm-hmm.
um I have no clue where they're going to go with it, because 12th level does seem to indicate that they have 12 pillars, which means they still follow a religion that is very close to whatever the second Dawn was teaching. Dev showed up with a box, it had second Dawn stuff on it, so I'm pretty convinced they're still loyal to that.
Dude, you know, it'd be crazy if that bunker was a wormhole.
Which bunker?
The second Dawn bunker.
Yeah, the one on Earth,
Yeah,
the one
that
that's
probably
redded
where they're
out.
going.
I mean, if it's been blocked out, it would make sense because it's got radiation everywhere.
Well, but yes, but also you saw that at the end of that episode, someone just destroyed the anomaly jump, whatever they called it,
Yeah.
anomaly
When
remote control.
anomaly, yeah, I wrote it down too because I was calling it the sphere.
Um,
I called sphere broken, and then Raven called it an anomaly stone. Yes, so
yeah, that's right, the anomaly stone.
yeah,
Well, they just destroyed it on that planet. You saw that. So, like, why
yes.
would they be able to do that on Earth? You know, I think that'd be really interesting if they did get that far. Um,
Mm-hmm.
go
Yeah,
that.
like the one on Earth broke down in that way, why it went red. Do you think
Yeah.
that would make a lot of sense? Totally. Um, Maybe they can fix them and go back in time and interact with people in the past. I think I've heard things about actors from previous seasons potentially coming back, so we may start to see some weird stuff with Earth soon. And this whole time travel business is as odd as it is. I think they're gonna make it weirder. I think they're gonna find a way to just make this just stranger and more fun at the same time. I mean, so far the sci-fi is pretty believable while being very magical and whimsical at the same time. I mean, mind control, it seems very much like magic, but like the way they were talking about it leading up to it, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know how believable it is. I mean, it's like we're supposed to assume that they've been working on this for hundreds of years. So I guess that in that aspect it's believable, but like I don't know, it seems sort of unlikely.
I still think I would make my penal planet, the Penis place, a research planet. I'd send my best scientists there and be like, spend your lifetime there and come back with your research in a day. Like, how is that not what you would do? Maybe it is what they did until they had all the science that they needed.
Well, I don't know, maybe they figured out a way on planet Bardo to have that sort of expanse of time but not actually age.
Yeah. Or
Um
like the Allie's artificial world type thing. They could, oh, that'd
yeah,
make a lot of sense if they were using robots like Allie to keep Shepard alive even.
yeah. Whoever the shepherd is,
I think the
which
Shepard's
was to
alive.
say, um
It's Bellamy. Bellamy's the Shepherd.
that'd be kind of crazy, but I kind of doubt it.
What if that's why they kidnapped him? They're like, we need you to be our shepherd. It's time for you to go back in time. I called it. That's what happened. I called it. Pretty sure that's everything I had in my notes. Is there anything else in yours?
um Not really. I mean, lots of Christian imagery and language, as always, which, like, I don't know, I'm a little tired of, but I get that that's, like, kind of the point of where they're going with this season. But, like, I hope that they kind of, I don't know, make it more interesting for, yeah, I'm not that interested in hearing more about Christianity. It's kind of like a topic that's been covered many times, way too much, in my opinion, by TV shows. So, like, let's get past it. I'm tired of hearing about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
it it's setting up a couple like stories that are going to be potentially predictable, but so far I'm up for the ride. I think it's thrown enough like little things out there to keep me interested. Because it's not just like a rehashing of an old story. This show typically finds a way to make it better.
yeah. Also, like, I did not really enjoy Jordan's like line at the end. It seemed kind of like one of those lines that's like, I don't know, you throw in there because you think it's funny, but then it doesn't really hit that well. And it's like, oh, that was like kind of a sad reference, you know? Like
Yeah,
where he was like, Clark Griffin has left the planet. I don't even know what that's a reference to, but it wasn't that funny. It was supposed to be funny. It did not hit, in my
wasn't it
opinion.
kind of like Elvis Presley has left the building?
Um, is
Maybe.
it? I have
I
no idea.
I mean, he's not very cool. He hasn't hung out with people. Maybe he thought that that was the thing that would make sense. But what I thought about that scene was Miller just said something funny, like, what the hell? This planet sucks." And then I feel like Jordan was like, "I'm gonna say something funny too." And then everybody's like, "Jordan, shut up."
Yeah. That planet does suck, though, to be honest. And well, that's something else is like, who else is even on that freaking planet that we care about besides Murphy and
Jackson. Miller and Jackson. They're separated again, right? Jackson wasn't with them, I think.
I guess not. But like, I don't know. I feel like the characters that they left behind are not like super crucial in the season yet, so I'm interested to know what they're gonna do. Like, did anyone tell anybody who
Nope.
slept in the sanctum that they
Nope.
just took off? No. What?
Gaia was.
Yeah, Gaia was supposed to do it, and then she was like, "You," and now they like, how are they supposed to get back if the anomaly stone is gone? Like, do they ever come back? Do we just forget about all the other characters? Do they use a ship to get to a different planet? Like, what is the?
It may be if you go to Sanctum now, you can't leave. You're just stuck there.
Can you no? But can you even get there
I think
without the anomaly stone?
probably not, but maybe.
Probably
I
not.
think maybe though. It would be potentially a one-way trip, I think, which is why they redded out a planet. If they lose a stone, I think it becomes like a maybe like you can't get there now. Or if you go there, you're stuck there, so we're just gonna make it so you can't. The suits are not gonna tell you. how to get there. But yeah, I think this is a good point to wrap it up. I really enjoyed it. We'll see you around next week.